following show contains adult content. It's not our intent to offend anyone, but we want to inform you that if you are a child under the age of 18 or get offended easily, this next show may not be for you. The content, opinions, and subject matter of these shows are solely the choice of your show hosts and their guests, and not those of the Entertainment Network or any affiliated stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
Hey everyone, and welcome to 50 Shades of Bullshit. I'm your host, Christine Lalonde, and this is the podcast where we uncover the truth about online dating. Now let's begin. Hey everybody, this is Christine.
And I'm Jada.
And this is 50 Shades of Bullshit.
Yes, it is, with the birthday girl. Hi.
Oh, I should have worn my birthday crown thingy that my friends gave me.
I saw it in your pictures. It was yesterday. So your karaoke was Sunday and your birthday was yesterday.
My karaoke was Sunday. My birthday was Monday.
Oh.
And so Sunday I went to lunch with a friend of mine. And then I went to karaoke with a ton of friends. And then a friend of mine was running the karaoke. It's at the club that she typically runs it. Mm-hmm. And then on Monday, I was a guest on the Pipe Man reading tarot cards. And it was crazy. Rebel was saying there was some kind of portal that opened, and it was like I got fucking sucked into that portal because nobody could hear me. It kept kicking me off. I had problems with my phone and my computer and my internet for over 24 hours. It was wild.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And then that night on my birthday, went to dinner with my friend Elena and her daughter that goes to school with my daughter. And so I've just been like, it's a birthday week.
It's a birthday week. Now, your daughter was your daughter at karaoke?
No, she was at the dinner in the pictures.
Okay, because I was going to say I saw her in one of the pictures.
The one with I'm wearing the sash and the crown.
Yep.
I'm like, look at we had the glasses. That
Party
was hilarious.
Animal.
Oh my God, it was so fun. I had to take Monday off because I had to recover. I partied hard. The whole place kept buying me drinks. Like literally, I was doing a shot here, French 75 there. I was like, wow.
And you're not a drinker.
No. And I brought a cake and everybody had cake. And then a bunch of the regulars kept coming up and saying, it has never been this fun.
Oh, that's fun.
Like, I'm here.
Oh, that's so fun. That's so fun. So how's the rest of your week been?
Very exciting.
Okay.
I know I've mentioned my cannabis infused edible desserts to you.
Yes.
This week I finished my business plan and the investor deck. Wow. And I had a meeting with one yesterday. He's going to connect me with a different one.
Okay.
And I'm going to San Diego this next week to meet another investor who also has a handful that he wants to possibly refer me to. This one here might actually invest in the bar section of the location. So it's really crazy. It's exciting. And then once I get back from San Diego, I leave the next day for Vegas. I'm going to go look at the property and meet with the property owners who are also cannabis investors. Mm-hmm. So things are happening.
That is so exciting. But if it's going to be in Vegas, how are you moving, or how are you going to manage
I'm probably going to move to Vegas after my daughter graduates.
Yeah.
And I'll deal with, I want to get the business up and running and going so that when the time is right, I can then
do it. Yep.
Go to Europe.
I love it.
Now, in the first year or so that I'm, handling the Vegas job position, whatever business, And Jada, I'll send you my business plan so you can see it. I cannot talk about all the details on here because
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
I have to protect myself, but I'll send it to you. You are going to die
God, I cannot wait. I can't
because
wait.
I've let's just say what I can say is that there's many levels to it. There are many things to it that are very exciting, but I'm going to be doing Pot Pie Cannabis Bakery by day and Room 420 Cannabis Dessert Lounge
By
at night.
night. Hey,
Yes,
hey. I like it.
thank
Yeah,
you.
send me the details. I am so excited. I to this day I still say every single time I talk to you, how are you even awake? You have 97 million different companies. You work
I'm tired.
hours in a day. How
I'm
do
tired.
I open?
I never stop. But I'm on a mission,
Yeah.
I'm destined to be wealthy, and
Mhm.
I'm not stopping until this makes my wealth. And the projection of the numbers with all the stuff is projecting that I will be making a profit within 6 to 12 months
That's
at
awesome.
in the millions.
That is amazing.
Mm, 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 mm.
Millie
The
Millie.
big M.
Mhm.
My
Mm.
favorite M
And
word.
all those other jobs though, so what happens to everything else
I
that
don't
you're doing?
fucking care about the rest of it.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, the things that I will hang on to are the podcast, um,
Your
and
production company.
production company. With
Mhm.
that money, will be able to allow me to do my own filming,
Yep.
not waiting for, a freaking investor for $100,000
No.
or 80,000 is what he's offering me. So it's taken him over a year to get me 80,000. What?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it myself. I'm tired
I
of
love
waiting
it.
for other people to take care of shit for me. I'm making this happen on my own.
I love it.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All
Now
right.
you are starting something this next.
Some classes. There's so much going on. There's just so much. Well, I'm doing a collaboration with a company to start doing events. It's a company called Matchbox. So I'm working on that, and I have someone I'll be doing them with. So she's in Miami and I'm in DC. So we're gonna do both locations and then hopefully do events everywhere, singles,
Mhm,
mixers. And they're
mhm,
all based off of this algorithm
mhm.
through this app. So I'm super excited about that. My class for my business so that I can, oh my gosh, hopefully get some additional funding and branch out and just take my business to the next level, which is super exciting. Book I'm working on. I just have a lot to, how am I ever
Love
awake?
it.
How am I even awake? But
I
what
don't
did
know
I just do
what book
before
are you
this?
working on?
I'm writing a book.
Yeah, what's it called?
The title I'm still working on, but it's just about being a matchmaker in the industry, going through divorce, finding
I love that.
happiness after divorce, especially being a woman in my 40s. It's not
I
just
love
all
it.
the hoopla, frou-frou-y things. But I'm
Girl, I'm
excited.
so excited. I
Yeah.
love that. I love
I
that for
know.
you.
So we'll see. We are both
Uh,
busy women taking over the world.
Girl, we, rule the world. I don't know that song, but it's what's her name?
Beyonce.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Me and
Okay, so
names.
what are we talking about? It's just me and you today. So what do we got going
It
on?
is just me and you today. The fun thing is that we are talking about what is, freeing yourself from a situationship.
Yep.
Okay. And we all know we've been in them or we may be in them. And I think that it's exciting that we're working on this today. I loved your suggestion for this one. So I'm going to just read the description of it, and
Okay.
we'll talk about that. So
Okay.
a situationship is a romantic connection without clear commitment. You're spending time together, acting like a couple, sex, all that other stuff. But there's no label, no defined future, and usually no emotional security. So the key signs that you are in a situationship is no clear label. You're just talking or hanging out with no real commitment. Inconsistent communication and effort. No, the one day on that you're all in, the next day they disappear. I know those.
Oh, yeah.
Future talks are vague or avoided, or if you talk to them, that's when they disappear. They never define what you are, or where you're going. And the last one I have for that is that you feel anxious, confused, or emotionally drained, and you're always guessing how they feel about you. So, what's your take on situationships?
Gosh, I think they're so tricky because sometimes people don't even realize or recognize that that's what they're in, right? I think as
Mm.
women, we think very differently. So
Mhm.
the time we spend with someone that we're interested in, if we're sleeping with them, if we're spending a lot of time with them, we automatically think that it's potentially a relationship. But until those conversations have been had, really it's not. It's kind of a situationship and those lines get blurred. So it's tricky. I think that communication is so important because you don't want to find out how embarrassing if you're with somebody that you're like bragging to your girls about, like, oh, my man. And then he's like, oh no, I'm with my friend right now, because you guys have
Uh-huh.
to have that conversation.
Yeah.
Have you ever been in one?
Yeah, many accidentally. One in particular that's making me giggle and stands out. When I got newly single, this has been, um, oh my God, when I was newly single, oh my God, I don't understand why me texting my friends, telling them I'm on my goddamn podcast, that they still think they should call me.
I don't
I
know.
don't understand that. I just don't understand that these people claim to be my best friends. So it's only 3.5 fucking years of this. You think Thursday at 4:12 you would remember
People would
that.
know.
Anyway, it was when I was newly single, probably about 10 years ago. 9 years ago, 10 years ago.
Okay.
I went on to a dating site and I met the cutest guy. Okay. And yeah, he's younger than me, quite a bit younger than me. Um, he was in his 20s. I was in my 40s at the time. Now I'm in my 50s and he's
Mhm.
40 now.
Mhm. Mhm.
Something
Okay,
like
so
that.
he was a little youngin'. Okay.
He's young, whatever. He had just gotten out of bad, marriage, and
Mhm.
he wasn't ready for anything crazy, which I got. I got it. It wasn't working. It was fine. But he kept coming back and coming back and coming back. And every time he'd come back, he'd say, I missed you so much. You are the
Ah.
most amazing
Mhm.
woman. And he would sweep me off my feet again. So I would say to him, you disappear a lot. I would love consistency. We are amazing together. Because he would constantly say, we're amazing together. And then I would talk to him about it. And he'd say, yep, 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 we're doing this. And then I wouldn't hear from him for 6 months to
That's
7 months.
horrible.
And it's been going on for years.
Oh
It
my
only
god.
stopped when I, had started to
Yeah.
see Christian. And then it's consistent. It is really consistent. Anastasia says, was he being really real when he said those things? I
Mhm.
thought that he was being sincere and real, like seriously.
Mhm.
Um, and every time he acts as if so. And when he says he misses me and he adores me and he's like never not as happy with anybody else as that
Mm.
he is with me, I realize it's just a cycle. He does it over and over and over and over. And it took me a long time to realize I'm in a fucking situationship that is not healthy for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and that kind of leads into why situationships are bad for you.
Mhm.
I have 4 things, and if I miss anything, Jada, please let
I'll
me
jump
know.
in. Mhm.
So emotional confusion and anxiety is a constant state of stress where you're questioning your worth and what this other person wants. And that is really an uncertainty that is not good for your,
Yeah.
emotional state. Number 2, blocks you from finding real love.
Mhm.
That's a
I have
big
to s
one.
on that. That's such a big one because I have clients that are hanging on to people that are situationships, and I
Mhm.
say all the time, you got to let it go, or your person is not gonna find you if you're still hanging on to what you think is potential. It's been years. Like, let it go.
Yeah.
But that's a
Yeah.
big one. If you're hanging on to it, you're not opening yourself up to meet somebody amazing who could actually be a person.
Yeah. Because really what you're doing is wasting your time, you
Oh,
know?
100%. But
And
it's
if
some
that
people.
other person's not ready to commit, it's just a shitty feeling.
But I also feel sometimes people stay in them because out of fear of not finding anyone else or anything better. So they're like, "Oh, I've got this, so let me just," you
Mhm.
know? Don't you
Mhm.
think?
I do, and you made me think of something when you said that. It's almost like people hang on to them thinking it's going to fill their dead space or
Mhm.
quiet time and keep, like either good sex or somebody to spend time with or someone
Yeah,
to do things with in the meantime, whereas it's like you said, preventing that real opportunity to come in because you are literally wasting your time on
wasting your time.
something that's
That's
preventing
not
you
gonna go
from meeting.
anywhere. It's not gonna go
Mhm,
anywhere. Yeah.
mhm.
And think about it, some people are in situationships for years. That could be 2, 3, 4 years of your life that you're wasting on somebody that is never going to commit to you.
Wah, wah,
What did Misty
wah.
said, what did she say? Excuses not to
What
try
does
to find
Misty
what you
say?
really want.
Missy says excuses not to try to find what you really want.
Mm.
Yeah, I think that is so true.
Mhm.
I think that people get afraid and they think, "Oh, well, I'll just hang on to this until I find something else." And I've
Yeah,
been guilty of that. I know that I have said that a million times. "Oh, I'll
yeah,
just hang on to this until something better comes along."
yeah,
Well,
it's
that
fine
something
for
better
now,
is
but
not coming. Mhm, mhm.
ugh.
Number 3.
Did you see Phil? Did you see what Phil said?
Oh my god, no. People hang on to situationships because they're intoxicated by the
By the
other
other
person's
person's
hotness.
hotness.
Yeah, Phil, that is very true.
That is
It's
true.
very true. I've stayed with
Mhm.
really hot men who will never give me a relationship because they're hot and they got great dicks and they're good lovers and all that good stuff. I have been guilty of staying for way
Oh, yeah.
too long
I think
because of
all
the
of us probably have.
magic of the dick. I
Honey.
Why not?
Why not? Why not? Woo!
Ooh, okay, I'm getting off track. Okay, number 3 of why situationships are bad for you. I have unequal effort and emotional drain.
Mm,
Situationships can often involve one person catching real feelings, don't I know it, while the other enjoys the perks without responsibility.
yeah, yeah.
That's the nut of it right there. They don't
Mhm.
want the responsibility, but they want all this, this
They
fruit
want
treat.
the thought of a relationship, but it's not. Like, they want the
Without
picture
the
of, like,
effort
a
of one.
relationship, but it's exactly. Mhm,
Oh, I
mhm.
know about those efforts. I had a situationship once that he kept saying to me, "Don't fall in love with me. I am, not ever going to." He's like, "I fucked up so bad in my marriage and I hurt my ex-wife and my daughter so bad. I will never be in that situation again." So we were a situationship. Okay. And I knew
Mm,
that going in and I wanted it because he is the hottest thing I've ever seen. He was the biggest physical, mental, emotional giver, sexual
mhm,
giver ever.
mhm.
And he just honestly had the best dick and the best everything. He was so perfect. But he kept saying to me, "Don't fall in love with me." And every time he said that, I just felt so irritated because I was like, "Too late, buddy." And then
Oh,
I kind of separated myself from him for a long time and we
yeah,
got connected. Okay.
okay.
And I'm like, I'm cool with the situationship now because I no longer have those
Yeah,
feelings for him, right? I'm like, this will be great. So we get together and he proceeds to tell me that he's fallen in love with me.
stop it.
And I'm like, "Mm." Mm-mm. You're not
Mm,
worth it, dude. No, this guy has got to situationship with every woman he meets because
no.
his desire is to please everyone. So he
Mhm.
loves pleasing lots of women all the time. It is the constant need for him. It is
Wow.
his placement of his substance abuse. He's addicted to pleasing others.
To pleasing other people. Interesting.
And so I was like, dude, not
That's
happening. I'm too smart for
interesting.
your shit now.
Not doing it.
I'm grown. I'm grown
No.
now.
There are situationships though when people
Hmm.
both agree to be in them.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
Yeah.
when people just say, you know what, I really don't want the commitment, but I want all of the other things, if they both agree,
Yeah.
some people are
Yeah.
okay with
Well, they want the perks without the
without the
responsibility.
responsibility. Yep.
And yeah, sometimes you get into a situationship that it's mutual, but I will tell you at some point that's going to fall apart.
Oh
That's
yeah.
going to fall apart because in general, one catches feelings
Feelings,
and
exactly.
wants more. And the other one's like, what the fuck? We just discussed the fact that this is a no strings attached,
Yeah.
fun, you know?
And then someone's feelings are hurt.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Number 4 for why it's bad for you creates a pattern of accepting less than you deserve
Mhm.
because the longer you stay, the harder it is to walk away, which is then reinforcing the idea that you're not worthy of
Yeah.
them. So it can cause
I
some
would
real
agree.
emotional breakdown, whether you're male or female, because guys can be are just as sensitive as women with thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Phil, that guy sounds like me, perfect dick and all.
Phil. Oh, he makes me laugh
Phil,
every week.
god damn, you're funny, Phil. Well, you may, Phil.
You
That's
never
that's
know.
a prove me situation.
He don't
That's a
listen.
show and
Don't
tell
tempt him.
that I'm not
It-
asking for. Okay, let's clarify. I'm not asking for the
That's
show and
funny.
tell.
That's
So I
funny.
think what's important, with this type of thing, don't you, is that figuring out what it takes to break that cycle, how to get
Yeah,
out of it, how to
yeah.
become more it, I think now I could be wrong. Tell me what your thoughts on this, Jada. Is I just thought about this. I thought, what if it could also be a insecure and an insecure attachment person,
Mhm.
okay,
Mhm.
who tends to get into those with people that they should never get into it with because the other person is never going to change that with them. They may change it for the next
Yeah.
person, but with them, it will never cross over. And a lot of women, maybe even some men, probably think that they are so great, which they
Yeah,
probably are,
they
that
probably
they
are,
will
but
fall in love and it'll change. But those things really don't happen. And
yeah,
I think a lot of people who are insecure and have insecure attachment styles get attached to people like that because maybe it's
I
the
agree.
challenge, maybe it's a
Mhm.
build of their ego. Well, I gotta say, all these hot big dick guys do great things for my ego. I mean, fuck that. I'm
Yeah.
57. My bitch ass is like not perfect, but they love it. So
Mhm.
it's like, why not? It feels good for the ego,
Yeah.
of course. Um,
Mhm.
in the past, with my insecurities and my lack of self-esteem and
Yeah.
before my growth, I think I got involved in them more often. I
Yeah.
haven't, of course, since I've
Well, not
been
now.
healing. Because now
Mhm.
I don't need to be in something that
Yeah.
doesn't serve my purpose of what I need in my life.
Yeah, and you can
You know?
recognize it now too. Because
Mm.
sometimes, like I said, a lot of people don't even realize that's what they're in. Or they think they can change somebody into, like, they can change that person's mind into being in a relationship with them. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So they're like,
Yes.
"Oh, I know after spending time with me, he'll wanna be with me," or "I know after, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. What did
Yeah.
Rebel say? Like,
Let's see. Like people who are in a relationship that they are not going to leave, yet they get with you on the side. Come on in, Rebel. Who is this from somebody?
Yeah, somebody called. I think they were talking about it. It seemed like they were the other person in a marriage. Like this guy is married, but he got with this girl that called in, and he is never going to leave his wife,
mm,
and yet
Oh,
they're still
right.
together, like a mistress or Mister on the side, whatever to call it.
Oh,
got
yes,
it.
where they think they're going to get the husband to leave
Mhm.
the wife.
Mhm.
But they need to
Yeah.
remember if he does this to if somebody's in a relationship and does this to their partner, they're gonna do it to
They're gonna
you
do it to
too.
you. Yep. Yep.
Which they actually are doing it to you. They're doing it to both of you.
Both of you.
One
Mhm.
is just aware and the other one isn't. So I think that that's tough. I feel
That's
bad.
tough.
I'm so sorry for the woman who called in that you're going through that.
Yeah.
Please know that it's not about you. Okay?
Mhm.
You might feel like, oh, he's here because he loves me and he cares about me. You might be the most beautiful woman in the world, the sexiest sex pot, and the most incredible, dynamic woman this man could ever come across. But he's got something wrong.
Mhm.
Something's wrong with
With
him.
him.
If he is still attached to his wife and cheating on her with you, I'm not calling you bad at all because I've actually been in that situation.
Mhm.
I've been the other woman and I've been the woman that the man has cheated on with the other woman. I've been in both boats.
Yeah.
I don't blame you at all. That these people who can manipulate a situation where you are in the middle of that kind of dynamic, they're manipulative and
Mhm.
there's a lot more going on with them, and
Aside from
the
a
wife will
situation.
never be enough.
Mhm.
You will never be enough. It will happen over and over and over, and
That's so
a
sad.
woman or a man may be magical as fuck, but that other person is just not the right person for that magic because they're going to do it over and over and over, and if they
Mhm.
you know if they don't, they're going to mess with your head. They are obviously messing with your
Messing with
head.
you're doing it already. Yeah. They're already doing that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Oh, that's so sad. That's really sad.
It is a very sad situation, and it's hard to get out of it. And that gives me a thought. And I never have a freaking pen when I need one. We should look into doing an episode on this kind of duality, with one person being in a marriage and the other person being the
Mm,
other person,
other
or
person.
the wife or the husband or whatever. That'll be fun. That'll be a fun
That
topic.
would be a really good that would be a good episode. Lots to talk about
So,
on
right.
it.
How to break that cycle, how to get out of that situationship. I have a list of things that I put together, and I'd love to know your thoughts on this, Jada, because this is a tough one to get out of.
It
So
is hard.
here's number one: acknowledge it for what it is. Stop hoping that it'll change or
Mm,
commit, and if they wanted to, they would.
yep.
If that husband wanted to leave his wife and be with you,
He absolutely would have done it
he
already.
would. My
Mhm.
situationships would be with me if they had wanted to. It's not
Mhm.
about how wonderful I am. I know I'm great. I know he's coming back because of me. But it's also because I've let him,
Yep.
and I keep believing that the next time will be when he's like come to his senses.
Mhm.
They
Mm-mm.
don't.
No. And you have to really like do the work on yourself,
Mhm.
because if
Mhm.
you aren't confident enough or believe in yourself enough to know that you are a phenomenal person and you have to settle for a situationship, you have
Yeah.
to be mentally ready to make some adjustments and work on yourself first before you even think about a relationship. Because yeah, you have to gain that confidence back.
Oh, 100%.
Mhm.
Without
Mhm.
that, you're just floundering, you're in pain, you feel like you've lost. Oh my God, when you get away from that situation, it feels so
So good.
freeing and
Weight
powerful.
lifted. You're
Ah,
exactly empowerment.
so
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. I agree.
Number 2,
Mhm.
have the what are we conversation.
Conversation.
Okay.
Mhm.
So lay it out clearly. Are we moving forward or
Mhm.
am I moving on? That is a
Yeah.
great, oh, I love that one. Are we moving forward or am I
Are
moving
we-
on?
I love that. That's
Mhm.
actually a conversation I suggest having early on. Because if you wait, you can't be in a situationship with somebody. Oops, sorry if you heard that. That's my ring cam. Somebody's at the door. But you can't be in a situationship with somebody for 2-3 years and then say, "What are we doing?" You need to
Oh my
kind of
God,
set that
no.
boundary ahead of time so that you already know what it's going to be, and then you're not hurt feelings at the end.
Well, if you have had that conversation in the beginning about how it's going to be friends with
Yeah,
benefits or
yeah.
a situationship, if you start to get into it and you start catching feelings, that's either when you have to make that decision to move on your own,
Hmm.
or you have to have this conversation immediately and say, okay, I broke the rules, I fell, I have
I have
feelings for
feelings for
you,
you now. Yeah.
and I just need to know if this is something that we could move forward together with. Could you possibly be having feelings or catch feelings in the future for me? Or do I need to move on and
Yeah.
we say this was a fun run while we had it?
Hmm.
But that takes emotional maturity.
It takes emotional maturity, and I mean, of course you don't want to have that conversation after the first date, right? Because
No.
you don't even know if you like that person. But I think if you spent an ample amount of time with someone,
Yeah.
also if you're having sex with them, like, what are we doing? Are we going to explore a relationship, or
Yeah.
am I moving on?
Right.
Hmm.
Right. Exactly. The next step is set boundaries and
Hmm.
stick to them. No more going with the flow as
No.
if the flow, because that flow is going to fucking drown you, you know? And
100%.
if
Yeah.
they don't commit, you've got to step back and cut those ties, because how long are you willing to let yourself be that lapdog that they, you know,
Exactly. You have to love yourself enough to desire and require more.
desire and require more? I love
Hmm.
that. Well said.
Thank you. Thanks.
You're welcome. I love those little tips. Desire and require more. Redirect your energy. Here's the next step. Focus
Mhm,
on, this is what we were talking about, self-worth,
mhm.
self-care, and meeting people who align with your values.
Yeah, that's
That
important. Make time for yourself to really meditate and reflect on what you want and what's important to you.
Mhm.
Because situationships aren't it. They're not going to give you what you want ultimately at the end.
Oh, exactly. It's what we've been saying all along. It's about self-respect, self-worth.
Hmm?
People who get into these situationships, okay, now we could very well be two different people who come
Mhm.
together into this and they find that they love it, it works for them,
Yeah.
and they just, get to a point where they're like, okay, well, I kind of met somebody and I'm going to explore that. And they're like, oh, great, good for you. Congratulations. I wish you well,
Yep.
whatever. I don't know very many of those.
I don't either. I know very few.
They
Very few.
typically have a bad ending.
They have a bad ending. That's why they're not good. They're just not good to have because someone is going to get hurt at the end.
You want
And
to
then
hear
it
something?
also ruins it for the next person that
It,
you date or the next
it
person
does.
that you see. Yeah.
It does. Want to hear something funny?
Yes. Tell me. Of
Remember
course I
that
do.
8, 10-year situationship I was telling you about?
Did he
Well,
just text you?
Today.
Stop it.
Said he missed
See?
me. Called me
Still
beautiful.
circling around.
It's circling around. So I have a feeling that he probably it'd be funny if he was listening. If he probably was seeing a few other people or whatever, it didn't work out. Things weren't going that way, and
Yep.
I've crossed his mind all the time. And
Yeah.
he reached out. It's not going to happen, but
No.
it's quite interesting, and
Mhm.
he knows how I feel about it. But he tests that boundary every single time.
That's
And you just have to be strong
crazy.
enough to know that it's not for you, and you're healthy enough and secure and fulfilled enough to not accept or even want that.
That is crazy. So long ago and just randomly. How funny that we're talking about this topic though, and then he texts you the day
Here,
you're
this is
talking
my
about.
life though. We pick a topic, we start figuring out things about it, and
Yep.
then that situation actually reaches
Happens.
out.
That's crazy.
But look at the difference. In the past, I would have been like, my heart would have went, oh my
You'd be like, oh my God, he
God.
texts me.
He's
Mhm.
changed his mind. He realized how bad he has it for me, and it's been a while. He's missing me, and we're going to get together, and he's going to laugh and have a good time and tell me how great I am. And then I'm going to say again, oh my God, this is so great. Why aren't we spending more time together?
No.
And then he ignores me for another 6 to 8 to 10
That's
months
so
or a year.
mean though, too. It's just not nice to do. But then he'll circle back after a little bit of time. Hey, beautiful, I miss you so
Hey,
much.
well,
How are you? No.
isn't that
No.
nuts? But
Yeah.
see, that's the thing. I feel really good about, my boundaries.
Yep.
I feel really good about my self-worth. Redirecting my energy is easy for me to do because I have so many other things to focus on. You have to fill your life with things. Like
Mhm.
yesterday was my uncle's birthday, and I called my Uncle Myron in my hometown of
Mhm.
Chagwater. And we were talking, and I was talking to him about my cannabis business and how I was going to be doing this now and blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. And I said something about I realized that I couldn't retire without
Mhm.
working 5, 7 jobs and figuring out what I'm going to do, how to move to Europe without any money, And
Oh,
he told me, gosh, someone must be thinking about me because my nose
your
is
nose is
sore.
itching. Mhm.
Good Lord. So it just looks like I'm picking my nose for an hour. So anyway, I was talking to him and he said, when I retired at 70, he said, I got really lost, depressed, and there was nothing for me to do. And then I went looking for part-time jobs and blah, 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 blah. And I said, look, I am not going to be bored. I am going to not have anything to do because when I do retire, it's going to be because I'm fucking wealthy.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
with that wealth, I said, is going to come the ability to travel. That's number one.
Yep.
Number two, I will always have my production company. I am going to make documentaries and reality shows till I die.
Until yeah. Yep.
And also, I told him, I said, I have lots of hobbies. I am a painter, I'm a photographer. I have lots of things that I am dying to do that I don't have the time for
Yeah.
because I'm so hell bent on getting my wealth together, getting my life, to the place where I can spend that time. So I'm not worried
Mhm.
about that. And that's one of the things that he was saying, be careful
Oh,
because you
wow.
get bored. And I was like, I will
You
never
don't
get bored.
you'll never get bored. But people stay in situationships because
They're
they're
bored.
bored. Yeah.
Exactly.
They don't have the things. They don't have the hobbies. They don't have different interests. They're
Yeah.
relying on people to fill them up and give them purpose and make them feel good as opposed to figuring that out yourself and making
Um,
yourself feel good.
it's funny. I heard something from somebody the other day, something about meditation.
Mhm.
And they said, "Oh, I don't like to meditate because that means I have to like really be within myself and hear all my thoughts and be on my person and blah blah blah."
Mhm.
And I related because I'd never been able to meditate before. I can now, but it's because I was afraid to sit alone in my thoughts, in my feelings,
Yeah.
I was afraid
Sometimes
of
it's scary.
who I
Mhm.
was.
Mhm.
I'm fucking magical. I don't know why I was afraid of that. But people are afraid of that. You know what I mean? So I think once you put in that time with the self-worth, the self-care, a lot of the self-worth comes from self-care.
Yeah, I agree.
You know.
Yep, I agree.
I started doing little things for myself, like making sure I got my hair done. Like, isn't it beautiful today?
I just love it.
And my nails, like right after today, I'm getting my nails redone.
Yeah, you gotta pour into yourself a little bit. Also, if you feel good about yourself, you're definitely gonna think twice about settling for less than what you deserve.
Oh, absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Number 5, stop making excuses for them. This is great for the caller, the woman that called in.
Yeah.
If they can't step up, they're not for you. And I know that feeling of feeling like, oh, they're so great. They make me feel so good. It's great sex. They're attentive. They're pouring all the shit into you that they should be pouring into their fucking wives that they committed to doing. That should make you question their integrity, their ability. You are the flavor of the month, basically, whether that's a year, 2 years, a month, 2 months, however long it goes on for. Don't you want more for yourself? It's like when we're in these kind of situations, I had to step up and say, oh yeah, I want more for myself.
Yeah.
And I finally, did that and moved away. And it's the best thing I ever did, because I'd be still sitting around wishing, hoping, thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to believe that they sleep in separate bedrooms, or they don't even, touch each other.
No. But how long did it take you to get to that point, though? Because you put a lot of work into yourself for a long time.
I've been putting work in myself since the day we started this podcast. That's when I started. That's when I made my changes and figured out self-care, self-worth. I took every single thing that every single professional that came onto this show, and I implemented it into my life to see if it would work. And I'm standing here today as who I am in all my fucking glory, because of every goddamn person that came on to this podcast has changed my life. I implemented those things. It is possible to change. It is possible to grow.
Yeah, absolutely. Do the work. Be willing to do the work, though.
Meditation is beautiful. It also blends in with manifesting. Manifesting is the most, people get hung up on the word manifesting. Yeah, manifesting. It's a little. But let's talk about that for a second. Manifesting is fucking positive thinking.
It's positive thinking. It's changing the way you think. Speaking as if you already have it.
Right. It's that simple. And look at me. I am a walking product of that.
Manifesting. Yeah. Yeah. Even journaling. You can manifest in your journal. You can write down, I am so thankful for this beautiful house that I have and this, $500,000 in my bank account. Like, you have to talk as if you already have it, and your life will change significantly.
Well, we know that I've been talking nonstop for a while about moving to Europe.
Yeah.
And how I'm working on getting my virtual work all set up and blah, blah, blah. And then I realized, what the fuck am I doing? What am I doing? I need to really think about, how am I going to make it? Am I going to rely on somebody else, or I'm going to take care of business myself? And when I started doing that gratitude journal that we started talking about, like a couple of months ago, I just started writing in my gratitude journal, no expectations of what I expected. I just started saying, like, I am really grateful for the multi-millions of dollars that are in my account, and that I have the brain and the capacity to not only think of multi-million dollar business ideas, but I also know how to implement them. I can draw the people into my life to help me with that. And I'm really fucking grateful for it. And it was that made it click in my head about my cannabis edible business. And that That's
Yeah.
where my wealth is coming. So it's doable. It can
Doable.
pay off.
Yeah.
All right,
No, I
number
agree.
6, the last one of breaking the cycle and how to get out of the situation is the best one, I think.
Okay.
Surround yourself with people who want the best for you. Friends, family who remind you of what real love looks like. It will help keep you grounded. And this is the thing, if you don't have that, go find it.
Yeah.
So, there's one more. Sorry. Surround yourself with people who. So for me, my goal 2 years ago or a year and a half ago was to surround myself with millionaires so that I could be on the same vibrational level and same thought process. And
Mm,
it changed my life. 5 days a week, I stay in a house and use the credit cards from their wealthy bank accounts, not for my own personal gain, of
yeah.
course, but for the things that I have to do. And when you are buying something for another person, like that is $3, $4, $5, $6,000, maybe bigger, maybe less, and you don't blink an eye with it, that's putting you in a different vibrational thought
That's
for
putting you in
money.
a yeah. Yeah.
And I surround myself with my friends are wealthy. And I enjoy that because not to use them for anything, but because they teach me how to speak. They show me the ways to behave and act. That money is just a tool to
Mhm.
use in your life to do good, to help others, to
Yeah.
progress your life, to not be worried and stressed and thinking. You know what I mean? So it's like
Mhm.
you surround yourself with people who have good relationships or who are grounding, who want the best for you. That's going to change everything.
Yep. I agree. I agree.
Shit, we're running out of time. The
Oh,
last
shit.
one, stay strong and don't re-enter the cycle. If they come back,
Mm,
it's called
no.
breadcrumbing. Don't
Yes.
take the fucking bait.
Don't
You're
take
just
don't take the bait. Don't
breadcrumbing.
go back. You stopped dealing with that person for a reason, so you need to let that be and
Yes.
just keep going. And the reason is probably because they wanted the situationship and they're back for the situationship to continue. You've got to stop the cycle. Is that what
Right.
Misty? Are you reading what
Misty
Misty said?
says you have to be specific on what you want. Yeah, yes, Misty, be specific. But here's the key. Don't say, oh, I want $300,000. Say, no, 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 no. Don't put a cap on it, because what if the universe had like $1 million coming your way and
Yep.
you said you wanted 300,000 and it's like, oh shit, she only wants 300,000. So you got to open that up. That's why I say millions come into my account.
Mhm.
Uh, I'm grateful for these vague but specific things.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a recap. Final thoughts. Your time, energy, and love are valuable.
Oh, I love
If
that.
someone isn't meeting you at your level, it's time to walk away and make space for the right person. You are worthy of a relationship with clarity, love,
Mhm.
and respect, and never settle for anything less.
I absolutely love that.
Yeah, I love that too.
Yeah.
It really is about self-respect. It really is
Oh, yeah.
about self-growth. And if you're in a situationship or find yourself with a person who's breadcrumbing you, that's not
Leave it
about
alone.
you. It's about them.
Them.
Anybody in a situationship that's there because they have feelings or they want something from the other person, like a relationship, and they think they're going to change, they're breadcrumbing you and they're love bombing you. These are red flags. These are things that they'll never be able to give you. You have to think about that and move on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, this was good. This was a good
This was
episode.
fun. I
Good
enjoy
episode.
these episodes where it's just the two of us. We
Yeah.
get a lot
Yeah, we
accomplished.
talk about a lot of different things, but it's all good things that people I think need to hear. So
I think
this
so
was
too.
really good.
I know that you're going to be doing your thing for a bit, and we'll
Yeah.
talk about that. What I think I'll do while you're gone is I'm just going to have guests come on, and I'll just communicate
Yeah.
with them. Anything that you want to like see what we're doing, if you want to send me anything to input, I'll input
Okay.
for you, or
Okay.
whatever you want. And then when you're done, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We can come up with some
That's
other
good.
topics to talk about. Fun stuff.
That sounds
So
great.
I love you.
I love you. This was good.
I love our
I love
people
our
that come and
listeners.
listen every week.
The people that call in, we appreciate you so much. The
I
calls,
love
I
you
love it.
so much.
Mhm.
Yes. Well, until next week, same time, same place. Let's keep this shit real.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share with your friends, like and follow us on Instagram at 50 Shades of _bullshit and Facebook at 50 Shades of Bullshit. Thanks so much for listening, and we really hope to see you again next week.